Welcome to Module 5, Section 7 of your California Contractor License Exam Prep course. In this lesson, we'll dive into windows, doors, and energy-efficient installations, components that show up frequently in residential remodeling projects. As a B2 residential remodeling contractor, you are authorized to replace windows and doors in existing openings, as well as install energy efficiency upgrades like weather stripping and low E-glass. However, as with all B2 work, you must stay within the legal scope of your license, which means no structural modifications, framing alterations, or new rough openings. Let's start with windows. Replacing a window in an existing frame is a common remodeling task and falls well within your B2 classification. This includes retrofitting vinyl or aluminum windows into the existing frame, installing dual-pane units, or upgrading to more energy-efficient models. What you cannot do, however, is cut a new opening in a wall, expand an existing one, or alter the structural framing to accommodate a different size window. These types of changes would require a licensed general contractor or a structural engineer, and possibly a building permit with plans showing engineering compliance. So, always clarify with your client whether the new window is the same size as the old one, and confirm you're not removing any headers or framing components. When replacing windows, code compliance is especially important. California's Title 24 energy regulations require that new windows meet specific performance criteria related to U-factor and solar heat gain coefficient, SHGC. These values indicate how well the window insulates and resists heat transfer, and they vary by climate zone. In most parts of California, the U-factor must be 0.30 or lower, and the SHGC must be 0.23 or lower. These ratings must be certified and labeled, usually by the National Fenestration Rating Council and FAR-C, and you must leave the sticker on the window until final inspection if the job is permitted. Failure to use compliant products could result in failed inspections and project delays. Also consider egress requirements. In bedrooms, any replacement window must maintain the minimum required opening size for emergency escape and rescue. Even if the old window was non-compliant, the new one must meet current code if the rough opening is being modified. But if you're only replacing the sash or retrofitting the unit without altering the opening, you're typically not required to upgrade the egress dimensions, though local jurisdictions may vary. Installation quality also matters. Windows must be properly flashed and sealed to prevent water intrusion. This means using back dams, flashing tape, sill pans, and caulk where appropriate. Poorly installed windows can lead to mold, dry rot, and expensive callbacks. So don't rush the process. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions and use installation methods consistent with current building standards. Be especially careful when retrofitting into stucco, since improper removal or patching can cause cracks or leaks. If stucco work is required beyond basic patching, it may be worth involving a subcontractor with AC, 35 lathing, and plastering license. Now let's talk about doors. Like windows, you're allowed to replace exterior or interior doors as long as you're not changing the structural framing or creating new openings. This includes replacing entry doors, sliding glass doors, French doors, and interior passage doors. For exterior doors, ensure they're properly weather stripped and installed with threshold pans to prevent water intrusion. Many newer exterior doors come with integrated insulation and low emissivity coatings on glass panels, making them energy-efficient options that comply with Title 24. Installing a pre-hung door in an existing rough opening is within your scope. However, if the new door is wider or taller than the original and requires modification of the framing or header, you're outside your B2 limitations. Similarly, installing bifold or pocket doors that require altering interior walls may be considered structural work if it involves load-bearing components. In those cases, subcontract or refer the job to a properly licensed contractor. Energy efficiency upgrades often accompany window and door replacements. This includes adding weather stripping, thresholds, door sweeps, and insulation kits. These tasks fall entirely within your scope and are excellent value adds for your clients. You can also install energy-efficient window coverings like cellular shades or films that reduce solar heat gain. While not mandatory under code, These upgrades can help your clients save on energy bills and increase home comfort. Title 24 also has daylighting requirements in certain rooms of the home. For example, kitchens, bathrooms, and garages often require natural light and ventilation. When you're replacing windows or doors in these areas, verify that your replacement does not reduce the amount of light or airflow below code minimums. Mechanical ventilation may be required if natural ventilation is reduced. Another key area to be aware of is safety glazing. In certain locations, such as near tubs, showers, staircases, and large glass panels, building codes require tempered glass or other safety glazing. If you're replacing glass in these areas, be sure the new units are labeled as safety glass and meet ANSI Z97.1 standards. Installing standard annealed glass in these locations is a serious code violation and creates a major hazard. This rule applies to both windows and glass doors, so always check your plans and confirm the location before installing. Permitting requirements for windows and doors vary by jurisdiction. In many cases, like-for-like replacements may not require a permit, especially if the energy ratings are compliant. However, any work that modifies framing, involves new openings, or reduces egress must be permitted. Always check with the local building department before starting the job and document your compliance with photos and product labels. If an inspector asks for proof of U-Factor compliance or safety glazing certification, you'll need to provide it. Let's not forget client communication. Make sure the homeowner understands what is and isn't included in your scope of work. For example, if they ask for a larger window to be installed and you can't legally do that under your license, explain the reasons and offer to coordinate a subcontractor or obtain quotes. It's far better to be upfront than to proceed with work that risks your license. Clients may also ask about lead time on doors and windows. Remind them that custom sizes or special glass types may have long delivery times, especially post-pandemic. Finally, take pride in clean installation. Proper caulking, painting, and cleanup make a big difference in how clients perceive your work. Test that doors close smoothly, locks function, and weather seals are effective. For sliding glass doors, ensure rollers are adjusted and tracks are clean. Small details like these help prevent callbacks and build your professional reputation. To summarize, as a B2 contractor, you may replace windows and doors in existing openings without altering framing or structure. You must use energy-efficient products that meet Title 24 requirements, install them properly, and comply with all safety glazing and egress codes. Stay away from structural modifications, always check local permitting rules, and clearly communicate your scope to clients. By mastering these skills and rules, you'll deliver code-compliant, energy-efficient upgrades that enhance comfort, aesthetics, and property value for your clients.